And just kind of as an update to what has been going on with Google's self-driving car so far, they have logged over I believe it's like 1.3 million miles on roads in Mountain View, California, Austin, Texas, and Kirkland, Washington thus far. Their current fleet is a mix of modified Lexus SUVs and then the kind of bespoke driverless cars that they've created. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe them to somebody.
They're like the monorail cars from 40 years ago at Disney World.
Yeah, there's something like kind of European looking about them, you know? They're cute, I guess. But that is like their flagship prototype, and so they've been out on the roads as well. And just the track record of safety so far the cars have had, their vehicles have been in some minor accidents in the past, and up until mid-February, I think it was somewhere in the teens, somewhere around like 15 or so accidents. The car and the tech on Google's side was not at fault for any of these. So it was drivers doing something stupid or people stopping short or what have you. Up until mid-February is the operative thing to hone in on there.
Vince and I did our tech CG crossover show, and of course we talked about driverless cars. And a week later, the Google, the little, I think it was one of the little pod things. I don't know which type of car it was.
It was a Lexus RX.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. It gets into an accident with a stinking bus.
Yeah.
A week later, after 1.3 million miles, then I do a show about it. Hits a bus.
Yeah. Just don't talk about any airlines anytime soon.
Right. The thing that I took away from it, though, is partially at fault. Google says we're probably partially responsible, but everybody walked away. So,
yeah. And to give you an idea of what happened, basically, Google's car was in the right lane of the city street, and it was going to make a right turn. And I think that there were some sandbags in the
which of course
the drain pipe.
Mess with the sensors, and they do that to keep leaves and stuff out of the drain pipes.
And so I think the car slammed up bared left a little bit so that it could go around it and make the right. And there was a bus coming up on its left. Bus was coming at like 15 miles an hour, and the Google car was moving at about 2 miles an hour. And I think it was one of those situations where the Google car thought the bus was going to yield. The bus did not expect the Google car to make the cut. And so in their statement, Google said, this type of misunderstanding happens between human drivers on the road every day. This is a classic example of the negotiation that's a normal part of driving. We're all trying to predict each other's movements.
Well, and not only that, but and this lends itself to the previous accidents where it's just a computer interacting with a human and it's just unpredictable. But 10, 20 years from now, if and when all this stuff happens, the bus would have been communicating with the car. So probably would have been avoided.
And that is...
this does not concern me in the least.
That is something that people cite all the time. It's like the biggest problem with these very sophisticated smart devices is when you add the human element to them.
Right.
And so, I mean, if they're all communicating on the same plane, they're speaking the same language, they know what each other are going to do.
Well, then all of a sudden, it's like a roller coaster ride or whatever. Maybe that's a bad example, but all of a sudden, it's like a monorail ride, like with the Google car.
Yes.
Because it's safe and everybody knows what everybody's going on and all that stuff. Anyway.